at the end of the day, if you don't love the dog, it's either you suffer or the dog suffers, or in most cases, the both of you will suffer. My name is Makinde Ayobami. I'm a dog lover, a dog enthusiast, a breeder, and a photographer. And I'm the owner of Max Kennels. So first thing first, I think every young breeder or every person that is intending to go into dog breeding should first of all love the dog. You have to love the dog for you to be able to care for the dog, for you to be able to spend on the dog and do all that is necessary to do for the dog. That is why we advise people going into breeding to always get the dog that they love. So that's why it is very essential for you to make some researches before you decide on what or which dog breed you want to go for. It is very important that you do your research, you know what the breed standard requires. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love the dog, it's either you suffer or the dog suffers, or in most cases, the both of you will suffer. So it's very, very important that you love the dog. One of the major pandemics that we are facing in the dog community right now is the fact that a lot of people just hear that there is money in dog breeding, and because of that, they just want to breed. And it does not work like that, because the first few years, you have to be able to part with a lot of money without you making any profit, or with you making a very, very little profit. In most cases, you don't even make any profit the first few years. I'm talking about 2 to 3 years. You have to dedicate your time. You have to be passionate about breeding for you to go into breeding. So that is why we have a lot of people we have a lot of dogs that suffer these days. So I think first thing first, you have to love the dog. Then secondly, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared financially. You have to make a budget for the first 2 to 3 years. And I mean, when I say make a budget, I mean your budget shouldn't include profit. So mostly the budget should be mostly about expenses, what you spend on the dog. So financially, you have to be prepared. And another thing, after getting the dog, you have to get a mentor. I mean somebody that is experienced in the breeding game. You have to have a vet that is your friend. You have to make your vet your friend. Don't just see your veterinary doctor as somebody that just wants to take your money. It has to be your friend. Make them your friend. Because it's only when they are your friend, that's when you can call them in the middle of the night and they will pick your call. So you have to have a mentor. In fact, for myself, I have a lot of mentors, a whole lot. In fact, I have some that I regard as silent mentors. That is, people I don't even talk to, people that I don't have that rapport with. We are not that close. In fact, some of them don't even know me yet. But I watch closely what they do, and I learn from what they do. The likes of Uncle Daffy Dogs, Seggy Jones, Dudley. I'm a little bit close to Dudley anyway, but a whole lot of others. They don't even know me yet, but I watch them from afar. Then I learn a lot of things from what they do. And another thing is YouTube is your friend. So you can also go online, make researches. You can learn a lot from YouTube. And another thing is cleaning. After you get the dog, cleaning is a very essential part of your kennel routine. You have to. Here we clean 2 times a day. We clean in the morning before we feed the dogs, and we clean in the night after we feed them. So cleaning is a very, very important part of any kennel. And another thing is routine checkup. routine checkups, because that your dog looks healthy does not mean your dog is healthy. The fact that your dog is eating does not mean the dog is actually 100% healthy. There's a case we had a case here recently. They brought the dog for stud service, and while we were trying to meet the dog, we realized that the dog has been breeding an infection for about 3 months, and they didn't know. The dog is eating, looking healthy, the coat is shining, everything is perfect, but the dog is sick. So routine checkup is very, very important. So you have to, maybe once in 3 months or once in 6 months, you have to get a vet to check up on your dogs. Then you have to run tests. I pay extra attention to sensitivity tests, and I test for brucella routinely. So because apart from the dreaded parvovirus that every kennel owner dreads, there's the issue of brucellosis, and most times you won't know because the dog is eating, the dog is fine, and at the end of the day, when you meet the dog does not give birth, or the dog gives birth prematurely. So that is why you have to do a kind of a routine check on the dog. Once in a while, let the vet come, take their sample and run tests so that you can be sure of what you are doing. And then another thing is feeding. You don't joke with feeding at all. That's why I said in the earlier part of this interview that you have to make a budget even before going into breeding. You have to be financially prepared. You don't joke with feeding. One of the things that is common in my area here is people go for animal waste. They go for animal waste a lot, and trust me, that is not good for you, and it's not good for your dogs. It is not good for you as well. I'm sorry to say, a lot of breeders around me here, they go for fish waste, sometimes animal intestine that is not even properly cleaned. You just buy, you wash, just rinse, and you cook for your dog. You don't know what kind of infection the animal had before it was slaughtered. You don't know what kind of problem the animal had before it was slaughtered, and you just pick the intestine and you cook for your dog, you feed your dogs. When you go for fish waste, you don't know the hygiene with which they used to handle these animals when they are processing it. At the end of the day, you'll be the one to spend to take care of whatever issue that your dog picks up from that. So I think every breeder should pay close attention to what they feed their dogs. You have to be responsible for what your dog feeds on, and you have to watch. You have to be hygienic about it. So that is that. Once again, my name is Max Kennel, and I'm a dog enthusiast, a dog lover, a breeder, and I'm a photographer. And I'm representing Max Kennels. So you can follow us on our social media platforms. You can follow us on Instagram on Max K9s. That is MAXK9S, Max K9s. You can follow us on TikTok on Max K901. That's K901. And on Facebook, you can follow us on Max Kennel. Thank you.